Today I'm going to be talking about some of the women who I think made the character of the FSP very intergenerational from the very start, and that was Clara Frazier, Gloria Martin, and Melba Windoffer. These women showed us that real radicalism is not a question of lifestyle and inflammatory speeches. It's about where you stand on the issues and where you're going to be when the shit hits the fan. They also encouraged men to step forward as feminists, to defend women, and also to reclaim their own personhood. Clara and Melba had spent years in the Socialist Workers Party and were part of the founding of the Freedom Socialist Party in 1966. The Socialist Workers Party, which was the preceding organization of the FSP, had become so bureaucratic that it would no longer allow anyone to speak out in opposition, even though it was taking terribly wrong turns on China, Cuba, the black movement, the anti-war movement, and women, and I'm sure many other issues. Gloria Martin had worked with FSP comrades in the community for many years, and she was a co-founder of Radical Women in 1967. Soon after that, when she saw the FSP's proven commitment to feminism, she joined the Freedom Socialist Party. I was a member of the FSP during Gloria's tenure as the Seattle branch organizer in the 1970s, and also during the time she was Seattle Radical Women organizer in the 1990s. I also had the honor and challenge of being Clara's administrative assistant for 7 years when she was the FSP National Secretary and National Chair. Both Clara and Gloria had their own unique styles and different backgrounds, but they both believed in the power of working-class women and men to change the world. They were both deeply connected to the black movement and saw the demonstrated potential for leadership among women of color. Both taught us the tradition of late-night, smoke-filled rooms with plenty of alcohol to fuel the discussion. Clara was the Los Angeles-born daughter of radical Jewish immigrants. Her dad was an impassioned Teamster anarchist, her mother a socialist garment worker and union organizer, union president. Her mother brought home fierce antagonism to the bosses, along with fine designer clothes for her daughter to wear. Clara graduated from UCLA and tried to break into screenwriting, but her true passion and career were in revolutionary Trotskyism. She was the mother of 2 sons. She loved to organize everything, from the workplace to the food in the freezer. She enjoyed gourmet meals, Manhattan cocktails, movies, opera, plays. One of her favorite sayings was, "There's nothing too good for the working class." Gloria was raised by an adoptive family in the Jim Crow South in St. Louis, Missouri, and Asheville, North Carolina. She left high school at age 14 to help support her family, but she was passionate about learning, and she read every book in her local library. In her early 20s, she joined the Young Communist League, which was the youth organization of the Communist Party, and with them she participated in early fights against segregation. But she quit the YCL during World War II out of just disgust with the unprincipled twists and turns of the Stalinist policies. Gloria came to Seattle in the 1950s. She was the mother of 8 children, including Comrade Mike, who's helping on the bookstore, who has many of her characteristics. Gloria was always a bit of a beatnik. She would wear berets and organize the world from an assortment of paper bags. She loved pork chops, Wonder Bread, and really bad coffee. She ended many a speech waving a red scarf. Long live the revolution. She loved poetry, poets, artists, writers, and rare books. Late in life, she managed the Shakespeare and Company bookstore in Pike Place Market. Her beautiful gardens looked straight out of a Monet painting. And she was always involved in constant home decoration. If you want to know permanent revolution, just think back. It was always a new decorating project. Clara expanded Marxist theory by integrating the questions of women's liberation and socialism in a way that had not been done before. She was decisive to developing the party's unique analysis of racism and the nature of the black movement known as revolutionary integration. She pushed every member to expand their thinking and writing skills, to broaden Marxist analysis on the questions closest to them and most important for the socialist movement, from developing an analysis of the queer oppression, to the question of the Chicano struggle, to an understanding of the impact of women workers in the changing U.S. economy, to the nature of revolutionary upsurges around the world. Both were tough, funny, critical, pushy, outspoken, direct, and independent. Clara was very intense, probing, questioning. You did what? People thought Gloria was nicer because she was more laid back, but this was not true. Sometimes Gloria would just laugh. You could not believe what we were up to. She would just laugh. You'd come to her office to complain about something, and she'd look at you and she'd say, "What did you expect?" And they were tough on us. I think yesterday there was a little bit of a too rosy glow about how they let us fail. Well, sometimes you can't stop people from failing. They will make those mistakes, but you did catch hell for it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, you failed. No, you heard about it. And even when you did good, how you could do it better. Because after all, that's the point. How can we do better? And so, you guys, sometimes you think, oh God, they're so pushy. Well, you should have gotten in there with Gloria, or gotten one of Clara's notes that said, "Who approved this? See me." They taught us that radicals and feminists had to have the highest standards if we were to be taken seriously. Those who are less threatening to the system get attention, even if they send things out late, full of typos, and poorly designed. We have to be so good that they cannot ignore us. Clara and Gloria both had deep roots in the labor movement. Each had organized unions, negotiated contracts, and built alliances with co-workers. They guided strikes and convention interventions and pushed for bold and courageous strategies as radicals in the House of Labor. They trained female comrades who dove into non-traditional trades and into the heart of the labor movement that was reawakening from McCarthyism. The Black Panthers adored Gloria. She was steely-eyed, and they loved to tell the story of this little feisty white woman who organized the defense of their headquarters when police were ready to crack down. And Clara had strong relations with Native American women leaders, Black feminist grassroots organizers, and intellectuals such as Joanna Russ and T. Grace Atkinson. Clara and Gloria died in the 1990s, but their influence and example are as strong as ever. Think of the audacity and courage and optimism it took to found a revolutionary party in the U.S. without the benefit of an organization internationally behind you, or a recognized leader like Trotsky urging you on. And it wasn't just any party, but the world's first socialist feminist party, much to the derision of the rest of the left. Think what it took to hold that course when all but one of the men split in the party's first test over feminism. Think of the conviction and it took to uphold standards and working class principles in the midst of the anarchist New Left. And think of the faith it took in people that they were able to show a new generation of men and women that revolutionary feminism is where it's at. And I think that's one of the most important lessons from Clara and Gloria, their faith in people. They knew that working people would and could cooperate, rise to the occasion, take on the bad guys, and seize the day. They believed that anyone could learn and grow, given the desire and a well-timed kick in the butt. They believed that humanity is basically good and deserves a system that allows everyone to rise to their full potential. If Clara and Gloria were here today, they would invite each and every one of you to get involved with the FSP, and those who are already members come up to new levels of leadership. Let's use the tools they gave us and make, in Clara's words, one short, good revolution. Let's bring this sucker down and get on with saving the planet.